tips on how to break down the Bible. Very, very key thing that we must have in order to be able to understand the Bible. I know many of you may have had problems in the past understanding. It may have gotten boring or just maybe got tired of reading it because of the terminology you may not understand. Through this teaching, you're going to understand the Bible. And I'd like you to stay tuned even after this lesson on today because the we're going to get deeper even on how to reference the Bible, understanding worship, understanding praise, and many other things. But let's get started right now. Um, the Bible is basically broken into two divisions. The first division, of course, we all know is the Old Testament. The second division is that of the New Testament. In the Old Testament, there are 39 books. The total Bible is made up of 66 books. So you guessed it right. 27 books are left, and that is of the New Testament. The Old Testament, let's just deal with that right now, are broken off into three different types of books. You have the historical books, which are the first 17. Then the next 5 books are poetical. We all know about poetry, so the writers in their written poetry style kind of helps everyday people understand it quicker as they read the books. We already know where history comes from, so you guessed it. If you know the history of something, then you can follow along as it goes and begin to understand why and what is going on in today's time. The prophetical books, which are the next 17 books of the 39, talks about things that has already occurred in the world. These writers wrote those books because of what they saw maybe in their dreams, maybe what they saw or heard God spoke to them. So they wrote things that are to come or things that have came to pass. And that's what you want. If you're a person that's looking to see the signs and wonders, these are perfect books for you to understand from there. Knowing how to get through the Bible and understanding what you're reading or what books you're reading, it will help you flow easy as you're reading, and the jargon and everything won't become so joggled or jumbled in your mind as you're reading, which will make it fun reading, I believe that God wants us to have a fun read when we're reading it, but also understand what He's doing, and that He has everything in control. The New Testament, of course, we guessed it earlier, was made up of 27 books. In those 27 books, of course, you have history in them, the history of Jesus Christ. So if you're looking to learn of the history of Jesus Christ and the churches that He first established, you want to read those first 5 books of the New Testament, not of the Old Testament, but of the New Testament. Of course, this first 5 books sets the tone for the whole New Testament. Understanding the church and understanding Jesus, the life of Jesus and His ministry. Now, the next books, they are the general epistles. Well, let's do it like this. The entire New Testament is broken down like this. They're historical books, which we talked about earlier, that of Jesus and the first church. The Pauline epistles are the next books, and then we have the general epistles. All the epistles, whether Pauline or a general epistle, gives instruction to the individuals, which is you and I, or it gives to the church congregation, which we know that are modern day churches. And of course, history again was the first 5. Those first 5 get history of Jesus, and again, we already said that the church. into the epistles. An epistle is a basic understanding of the Christian lifestyle and the Christian doctrine. The doctrine, if you want to look at it, to give you a little tidbit, is basically a law that a church congregation must follow. It's just that simple. The lifestyle we live every day, and then the doctrine thereof is basically the blueprint. If we forget, we go back to the basis of our studies. The study is why we do it, the doctrine. Now, the next time we get together, because I'm coming to you from home, I could come to you maybe in the studio, but wherever it is, I'd like you to make sure that you pay attention to the knowledge. We're going to have a successful season. And I'm sure you're going to have a fun time even going through the Bible. Please contact me anytime. Send me an email on Facebook. The name Prayer Impact. Look up that name. Send me any questions that you may have, any prayer requests. That is in line. I have a team that I'm building to pray for you. And together, we will be successful.